getting a little more into this tune, Falling Grace. And so I'm going to cover some things in here that I didn't cover in that first video, get more in depth to it. So now I'll start on the 5th to the 8th bar, I think. So hold on one second. So first of all, I'll go to bar 5 and talk about the F minor 7, the B flat 7, the E flat major 7 over G, and then of course the D after that over F sharp. Okay, it's bars 5 and 6. So here I'm going to cycle that. So it's very interesting that when you see what's known as a major 2-5-1 progression, which is like, for example, this situation, F minor 7 to B flat 7 to E flat major 7, then that's really, when you see that, basically you just look at the last scale you see where you end up, which is the 1, I guess, of the 2-5-1, and that E flat major. And so what happens is, it's over G, I understand that, but basically you don't have to think about notes outside of that scale for bars 5 and the first part of bar 6, the first 2 beats of bar 6. And then it has to change. You do have to go to a D, so you're going. If you did it all repositioned. So there's a little bit of thinking going on here. But basically, you can cut it down to basically 6 beats of one scale, and then kind of change one or another. You know, maybe play an F sharp, or you know, just make sure you get off of A flat. You wouldn't want to play an A flat anyway, because A flat is kind of an avoid note. After bar 5 and bar 6, you wouldn't want to play an A flat. So the last chord of bar 6, you could probably play a B flat, because you're going to G minor next, and that's where you're going to go next. Bar 7, 8. What makes it really easy is that it's another 2-5-1. So basically, bar 7 and 8 and 9 are all basically going to F major, because G minor 7 is a 2, C7 is a 5, and F is the 1. So again, using the rule that you play the major scale of F through all those chords, you know, the 2 to the 5 to the 1, one major scale. I'm going to cycle bar 7, 8, and 9. So what's interesting about that, it sounds kind of strange because the bass is playing, it's a slash chord, so the bass is not playing technically the root that you come to know as a 2-5-1. It's not playing the 2 and the 5 and 1. It's playing a 1 and a 7 and a 1. And basically, you still go with the chord above it as really where the harmony is and the notes that you want to play. But it does change things when you have the different bass notes. It's just kind of interesting. It's interesting to take it out of context like this, because you really have to listen to more of the tune in order to get why that's like that. It's a very interesting movement, because it's coming from bar 6 would have F sharp in the bass, so it's going to be this ascending line. So now what I'm going to do is going to play all the way from F minor on bar 5 all the way to bar 9. So you see how that works? Cool. Now we get the real fun stuff where we're doing a minor 2-5. A minor 2-5 has completely different rules, and at some point I'll go over them, but basically you have a lot of different choices. You have the melodic minor scales to play. Oh, it's F sharp, half diminished seventh chord. So it's or basically F sharp minor 7 flat 5. So now most people in this kind of situation would use a note. So that would be the A melodic minor scale will work over that chord very nicely. There's another chord that you could play. There's another scale that you could play, but that's probably the best one. So we'll go with that. And then for the B7, I'm using the C melodic minor scale. And so then the E7, then you get into that one, and that's basically a Dorian scale. Sometimes you can get away with playing an A only, but basically a Dorian scale was fine for there. So again, F sharp, excuse me, so I'm going to play you what that sounds like. This is a classic minor 2-5-1. A couple extra notes in there that may be a little off the grid, but basically that's pretty close. So now, then it goes on from there, another 2-5-1, a major 2-5-1 getting to G, which comes on the heel of a much more turbulent kind of chord change. So if I put those two back to back, one's kind of tense and dark, which is fantastic, and then you kind of lighten up for a second. And so here we go. This is from bar 10 all the way to the last bar of the A section. So we have a 5-bar thing, and you have a minor 2-5-1, and then you have a major 2-5-1. So back to back. That's good. Now, we get into the last part of the tune, the B section. And so we have the descending thing that goes with actual completely full diminished chord. Often when you play in jazz, you hear diminished chords being played where it's either whole step, half step, whole step, half step. Most often in jazz, it's half step, whole step, half step. But here's a bona fide one where if you see a full diminished chord, not like a 7 flat 9 chord or something like that, but a full chord with a circle in it, a diminished full circle, 7. So that would be. So I'll play it. I'm starting from B. I just played the first 4 bars of B. Here we go. interesting when you see a major 7 chord. People obviously see the root and everything, but it's a really good idea to do. I'm going to cycle the 3rd and 4th bars of B, and basically what you can do is you play a minor pentatonic starting on the 3rd of the major 7 chord. So if it's a B flat major 7 chord, you can go, say about playing D minor pentatonic, and say it's the next chord, E flat major 7. Go to the major 3rd and play G minor pentatonic. And I know there's a D in the bass, that's okay, either way it's fine. Now, we got to get near the end of the tune, so again, I won't go over the next 2 chords, which is basically another minor 2-5-1. You have E, E minor 7 flat 5, and then the A 7 flat 13, which is basically an altered, and you get back into D. So I'll do that just one time. To do sometimes it's a consecutive, like a just chord that starts at D minor 7. This is 4 bars from the end of the tune. It's a D minor 7, it goes to D flat minor 7. So it's just basically, you just have to think really chromatic there. I'll do those 2 bars right there, and then we're almost done. 4 bars from the end here. Just those 2 bars repeated. I guess 4th and 3rd from the end. So you got. Even the keyboard, how he goes in, very interesting, his keyboard part, even in the computer, it goes contra motion, so you can kind of go another direction, because believe it or not, the D, you're going, he's kind of hearing this programming is, or the D, and then, so you almost hear a D flat 11 actually, and then the 5th of C happens, so you hear that line that goes, instead of just following what the bass line is doing, it's going contrary. This is just like any other kind of voice editing thing. It's really good to do contrary motion. So here we go. Let's hear that again. That's pretty much it. The last thing I'm not going to go over because, well, I'll go over it a little slowly, but it's taken a long time, is the B flat major 7 to the E flat major 7. Again, the same situation as we kind of had before. We actually talked about this earlier. You have minor pentatonics that start on the major 3rd of those chords. So we have this right here. So. Takes us out of the tune. Well, this has been certainly a lot of fun. I'm going to try to edit down to something that's manageable to watch and listen to, and thank you so much. Subscribe to my YouTube channel, my Patreon channel if you like, and keep watching and keep working on music. Thank you so much, and I'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.